Don Mazzella here for Small Business Digest. You know, when someone recommended Marie Pizano to come on this program, I was a little reluctant until I read her background, and then I said we have to have her on the program. So, Marie, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, Marie, as we ask all our guests, a little bit about your personal, but actually I'd like a little bit more than just a little bit, but because you've done several things that I'm sure will be of interest to our audience. What you're doing now is even more interesting. And finally, a website where people can learn more. So It's all yours.
Well, I'm Marie Pizano, the CEO and co-founder of MVP3 Studios. MVP3 is all about film music community. I'm building on a 20-something acre property with 80,000 square foot building that used to be a Melco theater. Melco has about 30 to 40 theaters across the Mid-South. We took one of them that has about 20 theater auditoriums inside to repurpose it into a movie studio, gift shop, museum. We show movies and also restaurants and office space and movie sound stages for production with the television network, radio, and music recording publishing. From there, we are building also a hotel, an indoor theme park, and a sports complex. So we're basically making a mini Hollywood in Memphis, Tennessee, but I'm also partnering with Hollywood, New York, Miami, and other surrounding cities to create a bigger, outreach where we're going to bring more production and work with different states, different cities to create projects within the film, music, and also while we're giving back and creating programs that help the community. With that, this is 20 years in the making, so it just didn't happen overnight. We have a lot of partners, we have distribution, we have theatrical for, our partnerships with the theaters. We have starting next year to be able to do film and music fests and put on major award shows that will happen in Memphis. And I wrote a little book years ago to tell my story and about my journey, and Morgan Freeman endorsed that one. And I just recently released my second book, From Barefoot to Stilettos, Finding My Yes, to tell about my life journey from the beginning to where I'm at now. And I'll tell you, it's not been easy, but I am finding my yes, and hopefully to encourage others to find their yes as well.
Okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your book? And do you have a copy there to hold up?
I do not have a copy to hold up. I've given a lot of my copies away and signed them, and but you could find them on Amazon. We could, go to FromBarefootToStilettos.com, and you could, find both covers of the book and all the information on there. But it basically tells my story. And the reason why I wrote a book was years ago. It was basically one of those that I came to a point where enough was enough, and where I felt like I was in a marriage that I didn't have a voice. I didn't have a voice in my own community, even though I was out there working with women and children's, being on nonprofit boards. But moving from Chicago to here was a big, change. I suffered some panic attacks. I had to really dig in deep, kind of like I make a joke out of it when, if you watch the movie Footloose, Kevin Bacon's character, he comes from New York, he comes to the South, and he's like, nowhere to dance, basically. And he's considered like, the demon of the South, a Yankee coming to the South. And that's how I felt, like Kevin Bacon in Footloose, and also like Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny. So you plant someone from, the city of Chicago, big city, come to the South. So that was a culture shock, and trying to navigate through that and find my way here. Going through a divorce and just being like a woman in business and having to deal with, and I say this respectfully, and I'm not here to bash men or anything, because I'm about empowering everyone, but it was the good old boy network, and us women, especially, what I found here in the South was we're not taken seriously. You can't be at the big boy table. We're supposed to only be the trophy wives. And there was a lot of things that, I had to experience from not even being on these boards, but also navigating what I'm trying to do, here to make my mark in Memphis, Tennessee. I was used to being in the financial world in Chicago, working with all men. So I understand the dynamic of working with men, which I believe helped strengthen me to be able to take on and have the backbone to be able to handle myself and navigate through all the sexual harassment, Me Too stories. But what I think is most important for women, though, and, with my journey, I found, we're not supposed to be bashing men. We have to teach, regardless if you're a man or woman, we have to teach each other how we want to be treated. And yes, women do get the shorter end, basically, and we've had to come many different things, but I feel like, why I wrote my book was to, help navigate my story, to inspire others to keep going, but also, no matter if anybody tells you no, even if, a man tells you no or anything, you can still go figure out how to find your yes. I don't take no for an answer. And I think the more and more the doors that closed on me, instead of being bitter, I became better. And it motivated me. It fueled my fire to do something different or create a change. When they say like a healing process, when you get a divorce and you go through all these different dynamics, I mean, my yes is not going to be the same as your yes. And we all have a journey. We all come in this world barefoot. And throughout our life, we stumble and fall, but we all have the power to rise up and, go another day, find your yes in another way. And there's so many things that I have learned on my journey that I wanted to share. And they say truth shall set you free. I had a lot of people gossiping, blaming, shaming, doing all this, and afraid of having the Yankee from the North come to the South. And it was more of, well, I wanted to hurdle over that and tell the truth about me. I didn't want everybody telling their story about me. I wanted to have my voice. And as I started writing, I gave a student a job, to help edit the book and be my ghostwriter in a way to, edit the book. So this helped in many ways. What I saw this book could be a stepping stone to have a voice, a healing. And I say in the book, there's always three sides to every story: yours, mine, and the truth. But this is my story, my truth, but most of all, my forgiveness. And I give back with my books to a nonprofit organization for a domestic violence shelter home, and also this ONB, which is that helps women who have been through human trafficking. So a lot of the things that I do are is always to acknowledge, bring awareness. And, I found out a lot of things that I've been through. So has a lot of other people. So the more and more we tell our stories, I think it can help encourage others. But I always say that empowerment is rising to the occasion to be part of the solution. There is no bravery in destroying anyone. So that's what I'm hoping, that I could be part of the change in sharing my story, building an entertainment powerhouse, so to speak, that I could help my platform redefine what this entertainment industry should be, on truth and integrity, tell my truth, and hopefully help others along the way not to give up, to keep moving forward. And as we all heal this inner child of ours, if you look around the world right now, that's what we're seeing. They're called adverse childhood experiences. All these religions, all these races, everybody's been a victim of victimization. And when we all discover how to become a trauma-free, trauma-responsive community society, that's the best. That's how we're going to find our yes and get to that point where we're of mind, body, and soul. You could function well with others. You could function within business. You could create, solutions by what I call my favorite motto and quote is, you got sticks, I got a match, together we make a fire. And the way you get through all that, navigating through all this right now with anything is the minute you heal that inside and know that you're enough, you can empower others and be a very useful source to community. So that's what I hope to inspire and create the change with media, and have that platform that you don't get censored with me. You don't get, music, everything from films and all that. We can pave a way, the right way, multi-diverse, and everybody could find their yes with me and MVP3 Studios.
Wow. But you say all that, the name, first off, the name of your book again?
From Barefoot to Stilettos, Finding My Yes. The first one is From Barefoot to Stilettos, It's Not for Sissies. And the second one is From Barefoot to Stilettos, Finding My Yes. So it's part of the series.
But yet, Marie, you're sitting there in this 20-acre potential Hollywood in Memphis. How did you do it? How did you set aside all these things and convince the good old boys to do it, particularly in Memphis?
Well, I don't give up, and they'll tell you I'm very determined, and I will find my yes. And if you tell me no, I'm going to find someone that can. And it's 20 years in the making. It didn't come easy. A lot of sweat, tears. Any entrepreneur, any small business, you go through multiple struggles. Many times I've been in tears. Many times I've had to figure out a way to pinch pennies, to stretch the pennies, to, almost being shut down. And we've been in a pandemic, and my whole filming, world has been shut down, and, trying to find and navigate ways through that. And it's just, no matter what, I think whatever business or whatever you're always having to find ways to hurdle over. It's life, we're all on this planet, and we got to figure out a way to navigate and get along with each other. But this platform that I built within 20 years, it's also networking. And again, my theory, you got sticks, I got a match, together we make a fire. I want to build a Universal Studios, Stax, and Time Warner all in one. And it takes having those partnerships. I don't see anybody as competition. I see them as alliances. So It's finding those like-minded, finding a way how to make money together and build what I call this empire with film, music, and giving back to community.
Well, so if I'm a musician, I would come to you as a venue so I can have people come and hear me or to film me.
Yeah.
How exactly does it work?
Well, we are like, basically, if you go to Universal Studios, you know, they film movies, they have their, you know, production there, they have like an indoor theme park, hotel, you know, things like that. And we have the capability to host events, film and music fest, and all of that. But as a musician, um, you know, we will have singer songwriter nights and all that at our, you know, studios. Like I said, we have 80,000 square foot building, different auditoriums within the building that is, you know, assigned for certain things to, you know, like I said, 6 theaters to watch movies, but also 3 of them have stages on there. You can have a CD release party, you book an event. We, you know, if we find that we like an artist and we would like to work with them, we'll give them a very fair deal, a 50-50 deal. We don't want to own artists, but we want to help them. And if there's an artist that we want to record, we definitely will get behind them, release their song through our record label. Are you still there? Okay. We'll release a song through our record label. And then the movie, you know, most of the songs that we're going to look for are, you know, soundtracks to our movie. So, you know, through that budget of that film, we'll be able to pay the licensing fee for the artist. So the artist then can get paid on that song as well. And then with us partnered with radio, we are, you know, with 1250 AM in Memphis or in Covington, Tennessee, the Crazy 80s station, we have 9 hours of radio right now that we're going to help promote and people could listen to all over the world. Now we have an avenue, an outlet, a platform for musicians. Once we record them, we get them on radio, we get them in movies, and we help promote them. So, you know, we're pretty much the one-house shop or one-stop shop, you know, where we are going to help, you know, every aspect what we do and different divisions and different people running those divisions with me.
And how do you envision your role over the next couple of years?
Well, I'm the CEO. I've been the one that's been able to put this together, and the partnerships from our hotel partner to our distribution for foreign and domestic sales, my relationship with Malco Theaters. It's my brand, but they are going to operate the movie part and be able to, you know, put the secure those relationships with the bigger studios to show their films through our theaters as well. And you know, my investors would like me to be within 3 to 5 years a public traded company. So that's, you know, where we're going. But I'm the CEO. I'm the, you know, the one responsible to put all my network together to create, you know, those partnerships and move this thing forward.
Well, then I'm going to ask the obvious question. How did you convince the good old boys that you're the one?
I'm very convincing. I mean, how can you say no to a good structure, you know, valuable properties? You know, it's like building buildings. You know, you have a film. The screenplay is the blueprint to your foundation, to your building, and all the actors and all that. You know, I just did it by proving that I could get this done, making a couple of movies. They finally took me serious to understand that I'm not just this trophy wife or just a woman. I am I have a brain and I come from the financial industry. And when I put it all on paper and get the right people, I got 10 investors who are pretty successful people in the business industry to help me build that. And it took, you know, ironically, it's all men, you know, behind one woman. So I don't know, you know, they finally realized that I can do this and I'm not giving up. And, you know, most of the men that came on board understand the power of working with a woman. And these men were not men that, you know, saw me as a sex object or anything like that. They saw me for my mind and my capability and what I could do with them, not only as investors, but help their companies as well to market them and create, again, a win-win situation.
Well, the obvious question comes to mind, but if yes, you are a woman, but you're also an attractive woman versus a less attractive woman, does your looks help you more than well, men have it as well? I'm skirting around the issue because I'll put it bluntly: is it the fact
Yes.
that yes, go ahead.
Both ways, you know, it could, you know, I wrote in my book, like when I first started, I'm a woman and, you know, mostly men are investors, right? So a lot of the times when I did have meetings with men, of course, I got the backlash of women and everybody saying, oh, I must have slept with that person to get, you know, what I wanted. And that's the typical thing that anybody that succeeds as a woman, she must have, you know, slept with somebody. I never did. I tell in my story, and I also share, you know, publicly of a couple of situations, but I think, you know, I come from strong women and being around men, I know how to navigate my way, you know, with it. You know, I thank you for the kind words. And most women, you know, a lot of women get offended if you call them, you know, attractive or, you know, open the door for them or whatever. And most women get mad at from barefoot to stilettos, like I'm, you know, or making something out of women that, you know, I don't worry about that mess. In other words, I'm here to empower. I'm going to come to the table and I'm going to teach you how to teach or treat me, but I'm not here to destroy or harm anyone. I would like men to still tell me that I'm attractive, but in a professional, you know, not disrespectful way. That's what we have to navigate through. And it takes strong women to help men understand that and break that cycle. So I don't get offended. You know, I think if we could, me as a woman, to empower other women to realize, you know, we got little boys running around this earth, you know, we got, you know, we know this scenario. Well, it takes us not to be bitter, be better, and stand up and just, you know, give it right back to them. If I could be, you know, frank with you, I was on an OTC trading floor with 200 and something men. I was one of 5 women. Now, we're out in the open on the OTC trading floor. I'm having lunch. I'm eating a banana. Now, I'm eating a banana. My boss crossed, you know, the whole way, said, Marie, how far can you get that banana down? I just turned around right back at him. I said, how far can you get it down? You know, so it's, you know, we can't be, you know, I am not going to play the victim. I'm going to give it right back at you. And, you know, I'm going to tell you how, you know, I feel, but I have experienced where I had to go into legal battle with, I got demoted because I told on somebody. Sorry, I had something coming in. I got demoted and then I had to hire an attorney to go, you know, against a company about sexual harassment. And I got the Snickers, I got demoted, I got, you know, sexual harassment and all that is about power. And this gentleman was trying to show me he had power. And when I wouldn't bow down, it got a little bit more vicious, so to speak. Instead of looking at my chest, he would look at another body part of mine to try to intimidate me. So I had to learn how to really strengthen myself through that and realize it is not about me, it's about that other person. And you know, I'm not going to play victim here, and I'm not going to hold all men accountable for, you know, certain men's, you know, behaviors. But, you know, being at the good old boy table and being around men, I understand what you call that locker room, you know, talk and that language. So I'm not one that's going to be that offended, but I'm going to teach you what you need to be treating women like. And I think sometimes I'm a little intimidating that way. But I know
A
what
little?
I want.
A little?
You know, I know what I want. I know what I'm going to do. But it's all about, let's just respect each other. That's it, you know, and, you know, we got to navigate through all this together. You know, there's so many changes happening, and we're getting thrusted into so much, you know, information, so much what we're seeing, corruption, so many, you know, different things. But if you don't have your mind, body, and soul together, the minute you do that, you're not going to get offended by somebody else. You're going to realize why they are who they are. And when you figure out how to become a trauma-free, trauma-responsive community, you're going to understand all the dynamics of people. And, you know, we need real leaders. We need people that are on truth and integrity, that are there not to go blame, shame. And I mean, they're all acting like a bunch of unruly children running around this earth. And it's about respect. We got to take it back to, you know, the basics, and get everybody just on the level of respect, and realize we all have a power, and we all have to use that power correctly. You know, just like in Spider-Man, with power comes responsibility. So we have to, you know, be responsible. That's, you know, my motive throughout everything that I do, with everything, you know, through my company. We're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm not the Dalai Lama or Mother Teresa, and I'm sure in the heck not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat, you know, junk. You know, we got to get past this and be human, you know, and it's all about empowering. That's, you know, the way I see it, and learning respect.
Marie Pizano, thank you. Your website again for your book and for your Memphis location.
My book is from barefoot2stilettos.com, and then come check out our studios at MVP3 Studios.com.
Okay. On that note, unfortunately, we've got to say this is the end of our time together. I think we could have gone on for another hour or so. But thank you so much for a refreshing look at things. Thank you.
Thank you.